Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be doing a short unboxing and a review of a brand new headlamp that came out from Supfire. It's got a couple of interesting, really cool features to it. I'll be going over those in a few minutes. My opinion on this thing is it's a great little headlamp for the money. So stick around. Ciao, Shenhao. Goedemorgen. Dobre utro. Buenos dias, amigos. Good morning to you American people speaking English. This will be done in English, by the way. This is a product review of the brand new HL-09 headlamp from Supfire. In all disclosure, this was sent to me, or I was asked to do a review of this product for a gentleman by the name of Jay at Supfire. Nihama. Jay, how you doing? Hope you're gonna like the review. It's one of my first video reviews, so bear with me, guys. So I was asked to do this, with all disclosure, asked to do a review of this. I did purchase this product. I'm currently in the Netherlands and had to pay quite a bit of money for shipping. Jay was kind enough to refund the shipping portion to me, but I actually paid for the headlamp itself. So I have something invested in this as far as money paying for the product and actually using the product. So I want to make sure I am very clear about being honest about the review. This is something I use. I'm actually a scout leader and work with scouts, do a lot of camping, backpacking. But first I'm going to do the unboxing part of it. So let's go ahead and begin with that right now on the HL-09 Supfire headlamp. The key feature about this thing, or the selling point of this particular headlamp, is that it has a motion sensor switch to turn the light on and off. So it looks like we got a headband in there, got a charging cable, a USB charging cable. This is a rechargeable light. It does have a micro USB port or connection to charge it. And here we got the headlamp itself. And looks like we got a card from Supfire. Thanks a lot, Jay. Super nice guy. So, as you can see, the color on this here, it looks a little bit better than the product shot that I saw in the description on Amazon. At first, to be honest with you, when I saw the colors, I kind of gave Jay a bad time about the color scheme. It looked a lot kind of like a fleshy tone or brown, and didn't make a lot of sense with this headband. If you look at the headband, it doesn't kind of match. Speaking to Jay about this, he said this is an early model production and that they're going to work on the color scheme for these things. I told them that it'd probably be best if they changed this black headband to maybe a dark OD green to match the back of the headlamp, or even a coyote brown to match the front. Now, as far as the headlamp goes, I'm really impressed with this. I was a little skeptical at first with the main feature and selling point of this headlamp, which is a motion sensor switch. It has a standard switch, on and off switch, and mode click through tactical button, and the other side has a motion switch, so you can turn it on and basically just wave your hand in front of it. It has two sensors. These two little guys are apparently motion sensors that will turn the light on and off. I thought, that's kind of a gimmick. Why would I need that? But then I thought about it, and I'm sure if you got greasy hands, or you're a mechanic, or you got gloves on, or you got stuff in your hands and you can't, you could just wave your hands in front of the light, which is kind of nice, I thought. I have tested this out. You can do so by hitting the left side of this button here. And if you notice, and you can see that, there's a blue light in there. That lets you know that it's in the motion sensing mode. And it works for all for all settings on the light. So it works with the red light, the strobe, the floodlight, the spotlight, and the combination flood and spot. So it works very well, as I will demonstrate here. very consistent, haven't had any problems with it. I've been testing this light for the last 3 days or so, and this works really well. I was rather surprised how good it worked. And let me go ahead and turn that off. To turn it off, you just hit the button again, it goes off. You can use it, as I said, in all different modes. There's a spotlight. You can go to you can go to the red mode, turn off the light, and we're in motion mode again, as you can see from the blue light, and there you go. Turn the light off again. So it has 5 modes to it. The first mode to it is spotlight. Second one's a flood. Third one is both flood and spotlight together. And I'm gonna have to start up over. There's red and red strobe. The buttons are rather nice. The buttons have a good tactical feel to it. They're recessed buttons, which is a good thing. As many probably have experienced, leaving a headlamp in a backpack or stuck in a bag full of gear, sometimes the light can get turned on, and no one likes to go and reach for their headlamp and find out the battery's dead. So I kind of appreciate the fact that these are recessed. The buttons are kind of stiff, which is a good thing. They're not too stiff, but they're stiff enough. And you can hear a really good, nice, loud click to them. So, well-made buttons. The USB port on the bottom is sealed. This is a charging port. And I really like this. A lot of these little charging ports or micro USB ports, a lot of them have a tendency to be difficult to get your finger, unless you got long fingernails. This has a little hole in there or indentation. It's so easy to get your finger in there and open that up and get right to that charging port. While charging the light, you get a green charging indicator right here on this little section of the headlamp, and it also glows out the bottom in a green LED, letting you know that it's fully charged. When it's charging, you get a red LED out of the bottom. Hey guys, just a quick side note, something I discovered here. You can actually use the headlamp while it's still charging. As you can see, it's charging now, and all modes do work. The light is not what I would call waterproof, but I would say the lamp is splash-proof, rain-proof. It does have some O-rings along the seam of the case that opens up, which opens up rather easily. There's a little notch there to stick your fingernail again, which little things like that really make a big difference. I mean, I think that's great. Very easy to open. And as you can see, we have an O-ring right there. Very small one. The ridges up here that meet the O-ring are kind of shallow. They could have made that a little bit better, I think. And there's the battery. And the battery looks like it's actually replaceable. There's just a little plug-in socket for it. So I'm sure if you went on eBay or something like that, you can probably replace that battery if you ever needed to. Nice feature. It's not hardwired in there. It's actually got a little plug for it. Battery's a 1200 milliamp battery, 3.7 volts. Battery life on this thing, the specs say it's 2.5 hours. I found that to be very accurate. On the spotlight, which is the brightest mode, I would say it's probably about 2 hours and 45 minutes, which was still pretty usable light. So that's accurate. The floodlight, I think, is a slightly dimmer than the spotlight, and that battery life for that particular mode goes for easily 3.5 hours, which was really good. So that's far beyond the expectations of the specs. Is this lamp actually a 500 lumens headlamp? No. I'll be honest with you, I know a lot about light and lighting. I shoot photography and do things, so I have quite a bit of experience with that, and I can honestly say this is probably a 250 lumens headlamp with a spotlight, maybe 220, 200 lumens with the floodlight.
Alright guys, we're out here at nighttime near some buildings, an old abandoned building that they're stripping down. Hit the light on the sign. There you go. See, that's the headlamp, standard one. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go with the other rechargeable headlamp. That one's got a pretty good spot, you can see that. That will hit the building. You can see the building beyond that in the background. See there? Now this headlamp I'm using right here with the spot is actually a 150 lumens rechargeable light that they sell on Amazon. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the HL-09 Supfire headlamp. And see the difference? That is really bright. That's at the side, and this is at full brightness using the spot on the Supfire HL-09. You can see the building in the background. I mean, this thing lights up the whole building. You can see that. If you can really, I mean, this thing is really bright. Now, mind you, now, I'd like to let you guys know, this is on manual exposure with the camera, so the camera is going to be consistently keeping the same exposure for all three headlamps that you're looking at. It doesn't have an auto iris or auto exposure, so it doesn't compensate for the different lights or whatever. This is strictly 100% manual, so you can see the difference visually. Again, this is the HL-09 Supfire.
As far as headlamps without external battery packs, just being an internal battery pack for a headlamp, I mean, you're not going to find anything more than 250 or 200 lumens. If you need something brighter than that, you're going to have to go with a external battery pack type headlamp. And honestly, 250 lumens is extremely bright. Anything beyond that is kind of ridiculous unless you're cave diving. I don't know. In rare cases, you may need something brighter than that, but you're going to have to go with an external battery pack. So is this thing bright? Absolutely. This thing is extremely bright. The spotlight does have some side spread to it, but the spotlight actually has a very long throw to it. I'd say about maybe 50 yards. The floodlight, which is the exterior and the yellow here, that particular area is the flood lamp. That is a very broad light, a very soft light. It's probably about 140 to 150 degrees on the spread. The red light's a red light, strobe light, red strobe light's a strobe light. I don't see any real purpose of having the mode for spotlight and the flood at the same time. I would have preferred a low light setting, something like 50 lumens, 40 lumens. To conserve battery life. Having a headlamp that's 500 lumens is ridiculous. 250 is more than enough for just about 80 or 90% of most people, I would think. The articulating back here, the angle for that is pretty stiff, but not too stiff. I think you could probably, joggers could probably wear this without it, falling downwards or whatnot. Final thoughts here in closing. Great little headlamp. Really impressive. Brightness on this is fantastic. Battery life is really good considering how bright it is. Would I recommend this to friends and other people? Absolutely, all day long. I really like it. So I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and I'll try to get back to you and answer them. In the meantime, Sheshe Zaijin. Всем пока, muy дружnas. Adios, amigos. And how do? All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.